Paganism Part 2. While pagan is attested in English from the 14th century, there is no evidence that the term paganism was in use in English before the 17th century. The OED instances Edward Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, 1776, the divisions of Christianity suspended the ruin of paganism. The term was not a neologism, however, as paganismus was already used by Augustine. Less than 20 years after the last vestiges of paganism were crushed with great severity by the Emperor Theodosius I, Rome was seized by Alaric in 410. This led to murmuring that the gods of paganism had taken greater care of the city than that of the Christian God, inspiring St. Augustine to write The City of God, alternative title De Civitate Contra Paganism, The City of God Against the Pagans, in which he claimed that whilst the great city of men had fallen, Christians were ultimately citizens of the city of God. Both pagan and heathen have historically been used as a pejorative by adherents of monotheistic religions, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, to indicate a disbeliever in their religion, although in modern times it is not always used as a pejorative. Paganism frequently refers to the religions of classical antiquity, most notably Greek mythology or Roman religion, and can be used neutrally or admiringly by those who refer to those complexes of belief. However, until the rise of Romanticism and the general acceptance of freedom of religion in Western civilization, paganism was almost always used disparagingly of heterodox beliefs falling outside the established political framework of the Christian Church. Pagan came to be equated with a Christianized sense of Epicurean to signify a person who is sensual, materialistic, self-indulgent, unconcerned with the future and uninterested in sophisticated religion. The word was usually used in this worldly and stereotypical sense, particularly among those who were drawing attention to what they perceived as being the limitations of paganism, for example, as when G.K. Chesterton wrote, "The pagan set out, with admirable sense, to enjoy himself." By the end of his civilization he had discovered that a man cannot enjoy himself and continue to enjoy anything else. In sharp contrast, Swinburne the poet would comment on this same theme: "Thou hast conquered, O pale Galilean, the world has grown grey from thy breath, we have drunken of things Lethean, and fed on the fullness of death." Christianity itself has been perceived at times as a form of paganism by followers of the other Abrahamic religions because of, for example, the Christian doctrine of the Trinity, the celebration of pagan feast days, and other practices through a process described as baptizing or Christianization. Even between Christians there have been similar charges of paganism leveled, especially by Protestants, towards the Roman Catholic and Orthodox churches for their veneration of the saints and images. Heathen Old English Haden is a translation of paganus. The Germanic tribes were distributed over Eastern and Central Europe by the 5th century, and their dialects ceased to be mutually intelligible from around that time. Christianization of the Germanic peoples took place from the 4th, Goths, to the 6th, Anglo-Saxons, Franks, or 8th, Alemanni, Saxons, centuries on the continent, from the 9th to 12th centuries in Iceland and Scandinavia, and later still in Latvia and Lithuania.